Stay Alive was certainly something. I watched it for the first time since the first time I'd watched it, and it's rough. The theatrical cut of this movie was ripped to shreds. Scenes shortened, arcs removed, really gruesome work. Still, the concept alone has shown through to make this a cult classic. That concept being a Resident Evil knockoff with the added twist that if you die in the game, you die in real life. Easy breezy, beautiful, stay alive. Since the theatrical cut failed to live up to its premise's potential, we're gonna execute a rewrite to unlock its hidden power. Usually I stick with the budget and cast for these shindigs, but since my idea is so radically different from theatrical and unrated, let's ignore both and just go nutty. Also, new title, cause Stay Alive is boring. We'll get to it, keep an eye out. Also, some of you who have commented on previous videos will show up as cameos in this, so keep an eye out for that too.
Let's go!
A van travels through trees down a bumpy road. Inside, we meet our cast: Hank, Wesley, Ryan, Priya, and Jun. The van reaches its destination, an old hotel. Our heroes hop out and get their things, discussing why they're there. Most of them belong to a group of friends who separated after high school. Ryan, a game engineer, has been invited to test a new underground game by a mysterious developer, and he's brought his friends as tag-alongs. Wesley is a game tester, so for him this is partially freelance work, whereas Hank and Priya are enthusiastic hobbyists. The only outlier is Jun, who does HR at the same company that employs Ryan. She's his handler. The party enters the hotel and are greeted warmly. Our gang reaches their rooms. Each already has its own gaming setup established. After all, that's why Ryan was invited to this remote location, to test the new game in secret. Our heroes settle in. Alfonso starts to leave, only for Wesley to stop him. Once everyone is ready, they boot up and boot in, creating characters that conveniently look just like them. Then they all immediately get the same screen.
Welcome. You've made the grave mistake of encroaching upon Countess Celine's domain. Within the next 7 hours, you will either have survived evil, or you will be dead. Because if you die in the game, you die in real life. Now begins your dead run.
Our characters spawn into a woodland graveyard. The party retreats as zombies give chase. Jun loses her bow to a dog attack. Hank rescues her while Priya saves Ryan from a false floor. Zombies swarm a cornered Wesley, tearing him apart. The rest of the gang manages to escape the forest, stumbling upon a manor. But since it's late, they decide, against Ryan's wishes, to turn in for the night. At midnight, Wesley awakens after hearing a noise. He steps into the hallway, looking around, but there's no one there. It doesn't take long for someone else to investigate. The group runs down to the lobby. It takes the group time to regain their bearings. Alfonso is nowhere to be found.
You have invaded my domain, so I have invaded yours. One soul is mine, the rest will be as well.
The group does a mad dash to their consoles and get back to it. They immediately enter the manor, trolling through hallways. Priya discovers a hidden door that leads underground. The group goes down below, trekking through tunnels. Eventually, they come to a bridge over a bottomless pit. After crossing it, they reach a sealed door. The group tries to figure it out until... Our heroes heroically flee. The door shuts behind them, cutting off Celine. The three trek through more tunnels. Then they encounter a portal, or rather, a chamber full of portals. The group tries to figure out what to do while fighting zombies and avoiding falling to their deaths. As more undead arrive, Jun finally has an epiphany. Jun hesitates. the two reach the final chamber, where Ryan awaits. It's morning. The doors are open. Two exhausted figures stumble from the hotel into the parking lot, holding one another and heading for the only car. One of my many problems with the OG Stay Alive is that too much of it took place in the real world as opposed to the video game. But, to be fair, that's easy for me to say 20 years later. Oh, just invent a new video game for your low-budget horror movies, sweaty? But I think the video game world could have easily been defined. Just make it a VR thing that looks like the real world but with a few filters. You can even have the actors wear those buff bodysuits to give them exaggerated features, and direct them to move in slightly off ways to mimic video game avatars. That could be fun, right? That's kind of the point I'm trying to make, which is that this movie should have been more fun. Mixing the mediums of video games and horror movies is a fun concept, so why not play around with it a little? I don't know, it brought me joy, and I hope it brought you joy too. That's all for this one. Like and subscribe because I've got more rewrites, fixes, and essays in the works. And speaking of, for my next rewrite, well, we're gonna do something a little different for February. Until then, though, cheers.